there is a right way to live. There is no right way to live. There is only the way you choose to live and finding different paths to achieve that. Now, down here, at the bottom of this ladder, is all the space in the world where we can all stand together. And it doesn't matter who's climbing the ladder. We don't have to climb over top of each other. We can walk in a path. We can walk forward and move forward into the future together, hand in hand, working together. Like what you said, people came together, just a few people come together, and they all say, you know, we don't want to do what we don't want to do, but, you know, we will work, we'll do what we have to do to live, we'll help each other, we love each other, we're going to do what we have to do to make this work. People will do what they have to do, but it doesn't have to be to chase, you know what I mean, the dollar sign. You know what I mean? It's like every single thing you want, when you think of the food you want, when you think of the entertainment you want, when you think of anything you want, you think of how much money does it cost. You're walking the streets. Where am I going to sleep tonight? How much money does it cost? Money, money, money. We've created one thing that everyone needs to get anything they want. That's ridiculous. There is too much power in one thing that is worth nothing, that so few people have complete control of and unlimited resource to. Money is something of the past. We should be going back to the tens of thousands of years of how people actually sustain themselves. People work together. People grew gardens. People, you know what I mean? Why do we have to go and buy a bag of apples for $5 when we can plant an orchard? You know what I mean? George Carlin said it best. There are 17,000 golf courses in America. Think of the amount of gardens you could grow, shelters for the homeless you could grow, the options you could get. But who's on these golf courses are the people with all those money, all that money that we're all trying to strive and get. You know what I mean? I say, ignore the ladder. We don't need to climb the ladder, because we're all the people at the bottom of the ladder. We can go around the ladder, beside the ladder. The ladder's far behind us already. We're past the ladder, we're moving forward. We've got to the point where we're realizing...
We have jetpacks.
Yeah. We don't need to climb up. We don't need to reach the top. There's no top to reach. The only person that's going to be at the top is yourself, and everyone else is going to be down at the bottom working together. Because people focus too much on reaching the top and reaching this. We need to reach forward. We need to move forward together. You don't need to, you know what I mean? It's like,
Just take the ladder and throw it out the window. It's right there. No. It's right there. It's right there. Just throw it out the window.
Oh my God. Threw that ladder out the window. Okay. But I recently, I'll only touch on this briefly. I tried to open a business with the help of Enterprise, actually, and it was a community arts center. It was a Spotlight Performing Arts Community Center. And it was in a church on Waterloo. It was a venue so spacious that any artist that walked in there went in going, we need a show. Jinx the Cat, they came in. Everyone knows Jinx the Cat. They come in, they're like, oh my gosh, show, 27th, Doug Cartel, let's get this going right now. You know what I mean? It's like just people get inspired when they walked in there. And that's just the venue. Downstairs we were setting up a place where we could have all the artists, because like you said, it's like, we have an unreal amount of very impressive talent coming from the arts and culture around St. John. If we actually use those arts and bring them together, well, for instance, let's say you're selling, let's say you wanted to sell the shirt off your back to get your next meal, right? Let's say even better, you decided that you want to wear shirts, so you started learning how to make those shirts, right? You got really good at making those shirts. Let's say you sold 1,000 shirts a year. That's not going to do enough to keep you living in this society. But what if you make 1,000 shirts? You make 1,000 boots. You make 1,000 capes. You know what I mean? You make 1,000 snowboards, 1,000 hammocks. You know what I mean? Dustin and I are a part of a fire dancing troupe called Revolutionary. You know what I mean? It's like we have fire dancers, photographers, filmographers, we have actors, we could get an entire film industry, which we used to have in St. John. We have so many different sources of survival and keeping ourselves going without focusing on the dollar sign that it's, I feel like the only reason we chase money is because we're taught that from day one. You know what I mean?
That's the only reason we do anything is because that's what we've been taught from day one.
Exactly, and that's another thing I'll touch on is knowing. One of the smartest men in the world, Socrates, once said, "True wisdom is knowing that you know nothing." Now, knowing. What is knowing? Knowing is a combination. I'm not even going to write anymore, you guys can hear me. Knowing is a combination of experiences and what you're told to believe. What you experience is what you truly know, and even then it's a matter of how you perceived it. You know nothing, which only means that the world is your oyster. There is limitless potential and anything is possible. But the only way it's possible is if we all work together. I came up with a little... There's very few of us. We need to fit in a very tight space to make this work. Together. I just draw a lot of circles. I spin circles, that's all I do. I just know circles. Yeah, see, exactly. My life revolves around circles. Even the guy I work with has my same name, and the guy who else I work with has my middle name. I can't keep anything straight. Speaking of which, this whole time I was presenting to you, I spent hours putting this sheet of paper together. I haven't looked at it once yet. Here's a passage. A passage, yeah. Now imagine a large, beautiful structure full of many sized and styled rooms, from small practice rooms for solo work to studios vibrating with inspirational artwork. There are venue spaces for exciting events and a cafe to sit back and relax with friends before a jam practice, a dance lesson, an art class, or a show. You pass a room full of beautiful and unique handmade hammocks, hanging in a calming, peaceful room where a few travelers and artistic nomads rest their tired selves in safety and comfort. You come to a large meeting room where people are discussing their dreams for the city and working together to accomplish these dreams as a community. You sit in feeling the warm welcome that the working together brings. It comes to your chance to speak. You share your dreams, your ambitions for the city. As you speak, you start to get excited. People start to feel the energy in the room. The group discusses your idea and decides to take action the same day. Looked away from the paper.
Sounds like right now.
The group discusses what materials and skills are needed and arrange carpooling to get there. You walk down the hall with 2 volunteers. You come to another room. It has shelves and cabinets and is full of building supplies and tools. You wonder, where could this come from? Someone must have bought it. And the 2 people with you say, they said something very important. What they said is that the supplies were donated. How many people, you name one person who doesn't have an extra hammer, extra screwdriver, just one extra tool, and we have over 120,000 people in this area. You know what I mean? We can easily gather a community tool room where when we need to solve projects as a group, we can go and sign them out, bring them back safely, so that it's not like tools are getting used and thrown out. They're getting used and brought back and reused again. It's like a recycling of the things we really need. So,
resource sharing program.
Yes, a resource share. Thank you. There you go. Resource. We don't even just need tools. We need everything, right? Resource sharing program.
We need musicians. We need artists. We need fabricators. We need builders. We need engineers. We need.
Yes, yes. Now, the way I see it, when it comes down to St. John's economy right now, let's say, you know, I'm going to go on personal experience, because like I said, the only thing you know is personal experience and what you're told, right? So my personal experience was a call center. Quite a few of them. As many people in St. John as balance between, because we're in a tough economic time. I sat down for months, 40 hours, usually more, just to keep myself going, making money that was barely enough to eat, let alone do anything that I'd really want to do. And what time did I have to do what I wanted to do anyway? You know what I mean? I was busy working. I had to get the money so that I could do what? Right?
Keep working.
Now, exactly, keep working. What was my job? What was my important duty? What did I do in that chair for 8 hours, 10 hours, sometimes 12 hours a day?
I know.
What I do?
You learned amazing communication skills.
That I did. I learned amazing communication skills so that I could calmly not lose my mind explaining 12 hours a day how to brush your teeth. Right.
What?
That's right.
What?
I serve toothbrushes. I troubleshooted. It's pretty straightforward.
Customer service.
Right? It's like, this was my job. This was my duty. You're in there, you just got the toothpaste on the toothbrush and you're thinking to yourself, oh no. What could I possibly do with this thing in my hands? Now, the craziest thing about this is, I'm not the only guy there. Right? Hundreds of us taking calls about toothbrushes. So of course I lose my mind. And I go up and I'm like, I don't want to be here, I'm going to leave. So I leave and I was happy. I was happier not making any money than being in that job. But eventually, I needed the money. I had nothing, right? Nothing that, or at least how I had seen it. So I went and I got another call center job, this time taking calls for Bell. So my job now was, instead of this company who had screwed people over, it was my job, the same person who they are hurting, to take the angry call from these customers and explain to them why we can't help them with their air times that didn't charge this company anything that could help them, that could make them not be able to pay their rent or feed their children this month. These are the kind of jobs that pass into St. John. Pointless and depressing work that no one wants to do, that no one needs. It's a matter of, we could take these, let's say even 500 call center jobs. Let's say those 500 people, each planted, let's say 8 hours that one day. One day they took off the phones. Imagine the kind of work they could do to the community, the 300 of them in 8 hours. You know what I mean? It's like they could build a full community garden. They could build an orchard. They could do a rebuild project. They could actually make a difference in our city. Not make a difference for the guy brushing their teeth down in California who's so rich he's been paying his butler to do it, and all of a sudden, you know, we've grown so much in communication that we reach out to people so far, but think of ourselves as so small. We could instantly, right now, call a guy in Japan and ask how his day is going, as long as he knows what you're talking about. You know what I mean? But when you think of that, when you think of how big the world is and how many people are out there that we're now aware of, you feel very small. You feel insignificant. Someone mentioned a gear. You don't want to be just another gear, right, in this machine. So if society is just a machine, well, we're just gears turning to make it work. What are we working for? What are our gears turning for? We're turning for the fat cats up on top of these ladders that climbed over top of everyone else and pushed them down to the bottom so that they could work for them. Really though.
They didn't even climb it. They have an automated wheelchair system to lift them up.
And they got it from their dad. What we need to do is we need to realize that regardless of how big this world is, each and every single person on this world is a full life and full significant person, a full significant being that can do an unlimited amount of good in this world. And that means nothing compared to how much we can achieve when we all come together. We need to stop thinking so far and thinking we're so small and start thinking locally and realizing just how big we are together. There's well, first, you had a question?
Yeah, sure. You must consider that at some point you have to acquire certain skill sets to let you exist in the world as we see it.
I do. I do need to get skill sets, but...
So, what steps does one take to acquire the skill sets that one needs to exist in this world as we see it?
Well, I alone
There are many routes.
I could
There are many
spend...
routes. I mean, I'm pontificating first and then I'll ask you a question.
Please, go ahead.
All right, I'll ask you the question and you can pontificate. Which would you prefer?
No, go ahead, please.
You want guys to pontificate?
Yes.
So, first we need to look at how honestly assess our own capabilities, which are indeed limitless. Then we have to set about, if you want to make this muscle grow, you pick up this weight and you make that muscle grow. If you want a garden, dig the ground, plant the seeds, acquire the skills of gardening. If you want to build this structure, acquire the skills of carpenters, masons, plumbers, electricians.
Tire sledgers.
I have never been out of a job. I've never been out of work. I can make things. I dream up jobs where I haven't. I was saying to somebody, because I went on payroll recently, I haven't been eligible for EI since the 80s, sometime in the 80s. Right? Why? Because I acquired skill sets that were indispensable. I can make stairs. I can make beautiful things. I can make art. My skills are indispensable. People pay me to express myself. That's if you don't set out to acquire the skills necessary to express yourself, then you can't express yourself.
Well, when I think of...
You said you pontificate and then ask the question.
Yeah.
So I finished pontificating?
I don't know.
That's a real distraction.
I'm decided you're done.
I'm tired of me pontificating.
So, I want to hear that question.
What's the question?
I don't want to embarrass you.
So with that...
Please, what's stopping you from embarking on your own journey, acquiring the skills that you need to go, and shining the light? That's the real you. Like, just you are you. I'm a musician too, and I always tell people, making music is revealing who you are to the very depth of your soul. Reveal yourself in the world. Reveal your power in the world. No one can stop you. No one can take any of these things away from you. This is who I am. This is me shining bright. This is the wonderful me in the world. Come on. We are love people. We have love with each other. We have so much power within ourselves that nothing can shake us. We are the most depraved. We are the most exalted. We are Buddha, we are hippie. Which one do you want to choose? It depends on acquiring the skills. This is simple. If you want to know how to make something, start making it.
Yeah, that's a full circle conversation right there.
I forget what my question is.
I'll remind you a little bit. There's a few things that I took from what you were saying that kind of really spoke to me. One thing that you said was when you want to make a muscle bigger, when you want to work to make that muscle bigger, you work it, you make it bigger. But you're making that muscle bigger so that I'm assuming you can move something heavy, do something constructive that takes strength. I could get with 3, 4, 5 people together and work together to move that and not have to worry about my own strength, not take the time to worry about my own strength, but quickly take care of the situation. Now, another thing that also touched me is that shining bright. And no matter how, everyone's a ray of light. That's something I always like to think of, is everyone is a ray of light and they can shine as brightly as they want. But regardless of how bright you shine, the potential is limitless when we all shine together. Now, you also said gathering the trades and the experiences that someone would need to make something like this society happen. You said about 300 people it took?
Extended family. There's probably 40 core, and then 100 general. But there's always going to be different.
It's a matter. It's not a matter of numbers. It's a matter of intention and a matter of will.
Quality over quantity.
One person moves the world. One person. There's one Jesus Christ. There's one Buddha. There's
And what is your intention?
Yeah.
What is your intention?
Well,
What
that was my question. That's right.